want to ask you about is what it's like schooling. How is schooling? So we're here at gathering wisdom through COVID-19, and I'm here with Heather HETHERU Miller. Are you still using Miller?
Yes.
Okay. And I wonder if you could introduce yourself and tell us who you are and your work, and,
Mhm.
uh, and then we'll go from there.
Okay. Well, thank you, Sanania Joy, one of my favorite personalities in the universe. I'm happy to be here with you on this show. I love the title about gathering wisdom, and I think it's fitting that you are entrusted with this um, as a torture banner to carry through this time so that it's a record as to how we were able to endure and how we've been able to help and support each other. So I really appreciate everything that you're doing, not just now, but even before this crisis struck. So your work, is always inspirational to me as you are. So I just thank you for allowing me to be here to share this time with you. My
Thank you.
name is Heather HETHERU. I am a personal change coach, and my work or my role right now is as the executive director of Encourage Me I'm Young, and I'm also the personal change coach and founder of Your Inspired Journey. And so, with Your Inspired Journey, a lot of my work is with women. I would say 80% is with women, and that work really is about finding the different pathways to your purpose. So we know that purpose normally emerges from either your passion or your pain. And the challenge with us as we work through our purpose and to our purpose is that we still have to go back into that backstory to find those areas where we still need healing, we need reflection, and we also need to gather those lessons learned so that they can be not only useful for us and our healing and our process of moving forward, but so that we can share those tests and testimonies with others to help them grow in their path. So all of our experiences are not just for us. Those experiences are for us to share with those along this journey that we meet and encounter together. And so in my work with Encourage Me I'm Young, as the executive director, our organization is not just an organization, it is a movement. It is about the restoration of families. And uh, between my husband and myself, we actually cover uh, the, the gambit of the family. So, and I think it's really interesting how God brings people together, and especially us, to do this work, because both of us are deeply entrenched in the work of purpose. His pathways are connected to boys, men, fathers, husbands, and fathers, and mine is connected to women, mothers, grandmothers, so that we can be a model for our daughters. And so that pretty much makes up the family. And we do have on the fringes, we also have, of course, grandfathers and grandmothers that we also connect as our family unit, our extended family, that we so often neglect our elders, and they're left out of what is considered a family. And so I think our work is allowing us to move in those pathways. And so your first question was about how we're faring as a family with a 12-year-old that we're raising during this time. Is that
Yeah.
right?
Yes, I really would love, I think a lot of other parents would love to hear some of your reflections about parenting a young person at this time and what it's like with studying. And you mentioned something about video calls. You have a number of video calls. What were the
Yeah.
calls, were the calls for him for school? His
They're
work?
for school. They're his commitments to people that he cares about to follow up with them. So he has a circle of people that he cycles in and out to just follow up with them to see, how they're doing, how they're faring, and that's family, friends, loved ones. His He has a particular mission around helping children who are starving or injured, it's he has a cause that he has a cause that he adopts every year, and this is his cause for this year is around children who are suffering from hunger and abuse and neglect. And so he does research. He creates these video messages. He creates booklets about how to help them, where to find resources and things like that, which I think is that's an awesome character trait for him to have, which I think is kind
Now,
of funny that he's so serious about it. Mhm.
now, did you come up with that, or was it a school project, or is that something he's doing on his own?
He actually has been on this pathway since he was about 5. He started off with uh, learning about court. He used to, one of his favorite pastime activities was imitating all the court, the TV judges.
Right.
He could go through a skit for every judge that had a show, which which one of his aspirations is to be a judge. But he used to talk about, the plaintiff and the defendant, and if they had a good case or not, and how he thought that the case or the court case should roll out, and he would imitate the judges. So I got him a gavel, probably when he was about 7. I think I actually found him a gavel. I made one out of a paint roller before, and he
Mm-hmm.
was very happy with that one. But when I got him the gavel, he was out of his element with that. So that was pretty cool.
One,
Um,
now, does he have a set curriculum that he's working from that you have to help him with? And he, I think you mentioned to me that he has his spiritual studies and then he has his school studies. So
yeah.
was that a curriculum that you had already set up, and is that because you know about education, and how were you able to set up a system for him to study with during this time?
Well, I think really interesting. It is trying to balance his school work with his purpose work. And so his the curriculum that we actually did, and it's so funny because it's actually up. I have it taped to my door. The curriculum that we developed for him actually started before he was born. And so there are a number of things on there about the arts, the sciences, and a lot of metaphysical things, a lot of value-based principles that are wisdom that have been passed down through the ages. And so things that we have been uh, basic concepts that he's been introduced to that in this season, and it's part of the reason why I believe that we have been placed in this time together. But that in his season, a lot of the basic things that he learned as a child, as nursery rhymes or things to sing, now that he is old enough to have a more concrete basis for those things, he's able to apply them. And so now he's starting to understand, like, our values are based on the principles of Ma'at. So he's starting to understand, like, justice is a very difficult concept for him to understand. It's a very difficult concept for me to understand in this world and the culture that we're dealing with. Um, True
And
justice.
can you state the principles of Ma'at? You're not the only person who is leaning on the wisdom of Ma'at. Ma'at being um, the Egyptian Kemetic goddess. Can you tell us about Ma'at, who Ma'at is, and how did he develop a curriculum before he was born?
Right. Okay. So the principles of Ma'at are order, justice, balance, harmony, reciprocity, um, propriety, and I'm missing one. Truth. And so those are the principles of Ma'at. It was something that he learned when he was very young. When he started to talk, we started to share those things with him. Also, he learned the fruit of the spirit, and so we put those things in a musical form so that he could remember, and it would be something that he could recite. It was also a ritual that we did every night before bed. So that was his prayer time, that was his meditation time. And so he learned those. I mean, we had our ritual was really interesting. So he learned the names of African kings and queens. He learned, of course, the principles of Ma'at, the fruit of the spirit. He learned affirmations, and we call them power words. And every night he would come up with a letter, and we had to come up with a word, a power word, an affirmation for the letter of the alphabet that he came up with. And so that's how he learned, or has been building his vocabulary. That was kind of how we practiced, probably up until he was about 10, consistently. And so after he was 10, it was kind of like, Ma, I don't need for you to, I don't need for you to say prayers with me anymore. I don't need, so mom kind of had to step to the side and let him take over. And it was something that now he has to do. That is a declaration of his independence. So as far as his curriculum that we established prior to when he was born, um, and the fact that he was born to his father and I is really just amazing anyway, because when I was pregnant with him, I was about 38. So I had him when I was 39. And all of that time, I had not been able to get pregnant, had not been pregnant through 2 marriages. And so it was really a surprise to find out that I was pregnant. And so I guess being probably a little bit older and a little more wiser, I was listening a lot because it was a journey for me,
Mm.
just to kind of endure the changes in my body. I had lost a friend my best friend who died from complications in childbirth. And so her son is healthy, thriving, awesome, a great young man now. And so what she actually had and what she died from, I had during my pregnancy. And so it's a condition called toxemia. And so my son was born premature because of toxemia caused my blood pressure to be uncontrolled, and they actually had to take him early. So he spent 2 months in the hospital. But during that time, Spirit was giving me things for him. And I just started writing them down in a journal book of things he needed to know, things about him, because even as a child, his level of compassion and his impact on other people, it was it's just so hard to believe that a child could, just like now, but that a child could have so much impact on others. My son, when he was in ICU, and he used to smile at all the nurses. If you came over and spoke to him, through the tubes and through the discomfort that he had to be feeling, he always smiled at them, and they would literally argue over who was going to care for him. And and because when you held him, he would always put his hands on your face and look at you and smile. And he would take both hands and put them on your cheeks and smile. And he's a premature baby. He's 3 pounds, and so for him to respond to people like that, they loved caring for him. And he's always had a really interesting impact on people for the things that he says and does. Sometimes it's just so profound. I wonder sometimes, where does that come from? But
Well,
Spirit tried to prepare me for that.
oh, good. He tried to prepare you for that. Now, have you read about the crystal children? Because one of the
Absolutely.
things that I was told when I became a Reiki practitioner in the early 2000s, I was told that I was a part of a group of people who were selected to help hold the energy,
That
this
makes perfect sense.
vibration for the crystal children to come up. And now that we're moving into another time, and now we're ascending into another way of understanding ourselves, another way of um, so where the divine feminine is coming forward even more fully, so that the feminine and the masculine can be combined in this new time. I
Yeah.
think there are those special children who specifically need the support energetically and mentally. So we need to mentally support those children like Ra who have a very particular purpose.
Yeah, absolutely. And because we work with boys,
Mhm.
I get to see how this spirit has guided and shaped other boys for this time. Like
Mhm.
one of the boys in Rod's program, he writes songs. I mean, literally writes his own songs. He's 9, and he writes and he performs them, and they're always about love and always about the spirit of God. His family is they're religious people, so he sings about like Christian values and principles. That's always in his messages and his music. So I mean, I know that they're out there, and I believe that I'm with Encourage Me I'm Young because I have been entrusted to help cultivate part of those unique lives, those both crystal and indigo children who came to do this work for this time. So absolutely, I'm so glad that you brought that up. And of course, I started to study that when he was really young, as I had conversations with other people about that he was so unique, and some of the things that were given to us to help put together what I call a resource book. So my son's resource book, it's it is an 18-year journey. And so all the things are not all at once. There's some subjects that he would have in school. It is the expansion of those things, and it is the expression of the truths of the things that are only partially given to him as a student, which was why one of the rituals that we had was that he had to learn names of African kings and queens, so that as he heard about queens and he heard about people over time, um, that he would have a connection to it with those who look like him, who came before all of the moguls of today that don't necessarily look and reflect him, his beliefs, his culture, and so who have a culture of building and growing, not just cultures but nations, and not destroying them as so many of those moguls who we see today are doing, and not providing pseudo charity, but actually empathy and compassion, and a level of trust that helps to elevate a culture. And so those are the people that he learned about, and he could probably name even to this day maybe 10, 15 of them just off the top of his head.
So,
But mhm.
okay, I'm sorry, you were going to say something. He could name 10 or 15 kings and queens off the top of his head. And what were you going to say after that?
Well, it was so as he is in social studies now, they're talking about different cultures of the world. And so they're sometimes the way that they talk about the cultures that we've studied and that reflect us, he's like, that doesn't make sense what they're what they're saying. He's like,
Mhm.
so he has some questions, but he has questions, but he doesn't really understand where those questions are coming from yet. And so, because he's not thinking in terms of racism, or he's not thinking in terms of cultural exploitation or anything like that, he's a pure spirit, he's a pure soul. So he's not thinking that way, but the information that's being, provided to him sometimes is a partial truth. And so we know that our truth is our truth. And so the partial truth that he's been given, we know that he is something that he has to expand on. So that was kind of what I wanted to share too.
Oh, okay, wonderful. Thank you. So, tell me more about the organization that you and your husband are running at, because I don't recall. I don't know if the last time we talked a couple of years ago, I don't know if the organization had fully blossomed or your role in it had been the same. How Tell me about that organization and how is it being impacted or shifted during this time of COVID-19?
Okay. Well, we have a uh, fall program and we have a spring program. So when the schools closed around March 11th or so, our program operates on Sundays and Mondays, and so it's a mentorship leadership program where we actually cultivate the lives of boys ages 8 to 14, and we help them to gain leadership skills, um, and servant leadership skills more specifically. And servant leadership really is about understanding the message of we, how we do things together, not I am not the leader, we lead. And so I may lead an initiative, but I'm doing that on behalf of us, and it's we who move that agenda forward. And so
Right.
it's a different kind of mindset shift for parents and for educators to kind of understand, because we're so committed to having to have a person as an identity leading and being the person that's seen,
Mhm.
where we teach our boys it's really not about the only reason you need to be upfront is that you need to make sure that things happen, and that but your motivation, the impact is always about we. It is not about leaving people behind. Although part of what we help them to understand is when somebody is ready to move forward. And so the way that we engage in some leadership activities and some recreational activities is those who are ready to lead. So we push them, but they're very competitive about like who leads a particular activity, or who is leading in encouragement, who's leading and assisting somebody else, who's leading in their knowledge base. So but the responsibility of leading is that you bring other people to the front too. So everything that you lead is not to leave someone behind, it's to be the example and to encourage others around them in the way that they need that help, so that they can be a part of that center circle. They can be part of that leadership too, because everybody knows that everybody has it in them.
Mhm. And so your program runs on Sunday and Monday. Is it in the schools, and are you running the program now? I know you
So
mentioned that
the pro
you,
we normally run out of a local gym. We're working with New St. Paul Church on Southfield Freeway, just north of Grand River. And so we had been with them for 2 seasons, and so the spring was the second season. Our program would have ended this week.
mhm.
Yeah, our program would have ended this week. So it's a 14-week program, and we meet 2 days a week. So on Sundays and Mondays, Sundays we were meeting from 2 to 5, and then Monday we were meeting from 6 to 8. And so we have mentors that are trained to help fill in the gap. What is kind of unique about our program is that our mentees have fathers who are mentors. So for those young men who don't have a positive male figure, father figure that is connecting with them, they have consistently and they build over time this relationship with this father mentor who provides a level of stability, guidance to them along this part of their journey. And so, uh-oh. And so, it's been very, very inspiring,
Mhm.
because for those fathers who, uh-oh, my phone is giving me a message that it's a bit, it's
Well,
getting hot or something. So hold on one second.
okay.
I have to cool it down some, I guess. Okay, let me. Oops, sorry. A lot of extra movement. So um, it also helps to meet the gaps for those fathers who don't have access to their sons, and so it allows them to mutually benefit from the exchange. There's a lot of education in the process about our way of how we operate programs, what expectations are of mentors, what expectations are of mentees, what expectations are of parents. And so we really work as a unit to really improve the lives of our boys, to give them some of the opportunities, exposure that they really need in terms of being and becoming their best selves,
Mhm.
and being able to move toward those things that they may feel is impossible for them, to give them the tools to believe in the possibility when you put the work and effort behind it. Um, so I've been with Emmy for as the executive director since 2018. But I've worked with Emmy for a number of years. Emmy has been in existence since 2007.
Now, Umi, was that the company, your organization, your husband started?
Yes, so he's the president and founder
Mhm.
of Emmy as well as Good Fathers Only, and both are organizations, of course, that deal with males. So part of what I bring to Emmy now is considered um, the support for mothers and grandmothers who are raising their sons, and I call it the boss, our boss building our sons. And
Mhm.
so bringing resources, information, knowledge for women to help them have better relationships with their sons, because ultimately, um, as we start to build our sons, it gives us a connection to their fathers and men in general, because the way that we treat men ultimately are the ways that we treat our sons, and the ways that we treat our sons are ultimately the expectations that we have of men. And so helping women to kind of disconnect that way of thinking is really necessary, and it's not something that often is done intentional. But when you're a single mother and you have so much time invested in your son, he can then, as he ages and gets older, he can then become your companion. And we don't need to have our sons as our companions, because when you do that, then you take on a different role. And again, I don't think it's anything that we develop that's really intentional, but we get very possessive of our sons because we have that sometimes that feeling that they're our companion, and when it's time for them to go off and date and be that person for another woman, we experience a sense of jealousy, all the things that you would experience, if you were in a relationship with someone else, and it's as if they're cheating on you. And so we tend to either do things to hold on to them too tightly, or we do those things that sometimes are where our lines get blurred out of our own need. And so that's one of the reasons why I work with women to look at our backstory, to find those areas where we need that healing, so that we don't transfer those feelings, or we don't transfer those expectations onto our sons. And so it's a space in my mind that it's always something that I have to deal with first. And so it had to go and look at my backstory and find out where that potential was in my backstory. And so when my son was born, it was one of the lessons that I got early on before I left the hospital, because I had my conversation was that I didn't know if I could endure anything ever happening to him. Like, how could I go on with all this love that I was feeling with him? And I was praying on that, and it actually kept my blood pressure up, because I didn't want to leave him at the hospital while I went home. And so in my prayer and my meditation, the answer was, he's not yours, he's mine. And that was what the Spirit of God told me, that I was looking at him as a possession, like I own a car, I own this pair of shoes, I own my house, kind of a possession. And when he when Spirit cleared that up for me, I was able to look at him and take the responsibility of being entrusted with him, that he's entrusted to my care, he's not mine.
Well,
And I go
that's
ahead.
something that, I don't have children, but, there's a poem that my father selected for me to read at my brother's funeral by Khalil Gibran. Are you familiar with it?
I love him. Yes.
Yes, and Sweet Honey in the Rock actually did a song version of it.
Oh.
Your children are not your children. They are the sons and the daughters of life's longing for itself. They come through you, but they are not from you. Though they are with you, they belong not to you. And it's like that whole concept of children being entrusted to us, not actually, not actually belonging to us. It's a really difficult concept, I think, for most parents to reach,
Yes.
because I think some parents really want to say, this person is mine. Like maybe I was left behind, or maybe I wasn't loved, or maybe I was loved, but this particular person is mine. And so what's
Mhm.
really interesting is how uh, how does so we're looking at, and so right now we're in a time where we're being asked to get home because of the coronavirus. We're doing it again, and we've been asked to get home because the threat of the virus is grown exponentially in county near Detroit. And my question is, how how do how do you are you more afraid of the coronavirus and connected to your son than maybe I mean, I'm sure all parents are, but how are you handling that concept of the possibility of getting ill?
So I think you're saying two things: the shelter in place order,
Mhm.
and kind of how it's affecting me and our family, and the are we experiencing the fear of the effects of it.
Exactly.
Um, I will share that I am not fearful. I am cautious and aware. But the bigger picture for me, and in my understanding and in my truth, that I called it I called this time the inside job. So everything for me literally came to a halt. So that's my source of income. I lost, of course, 2 months of income, and as um, a contractor, an independent contractor, there is no security blanket. If it's kind of, you don't work, you don't eat kind of, you know,
Yes.
mindset. And
Yes.
so a lot of opportunities that were new for me, I was moving into speaking at colleges, and those opportunities were closed. I had organizations that I had been waiting to do training for almost a year had called me. Those were on the books. I had them scheduled, waiting to expand on those, some things that were national contracts. So all of those things for me were lost. It was a considerable amount of income. But I have to say that what I've gained far exceeded what I lost.
Really? What
Uh,
did you mean?
but let me be clear, that gain and loss doesn't equate to the lives that have been lost.
Oh,
For
no, of
those,
course not.
in my circle,
Right.
those of my loved ones who experience consistent loss, like one person in my circle has lost like 12 people during this
12?
12 people during this epidemic, and or this pandemic. And so, the having some level of perspective has been helpful. Being prayerful and watchful has been helpful to help eliminate the fear that goes along with it. And knowing that I have a purpose in this time helps to eliminate the fear. So not only me, my son, my husband, that we all are working in purpose during this time. And that's a lot of what's coming out of our household.
Okay. So what is your purpose, and how is it different during this time? Or different
I
or enhanced?
So my purpose is, one, to help others find their purpose. My second, or the second pathway on my path of purpose, is to help women to find those areas where they need to heal, so that the things that they're endeavoring to do that those channels are now open. So to help remove those blockages, a lot of times they're in our backstory. A lot of times they're things that are right in front of us, but mostly they have to do with relationships. So they have to do with being able to navigate relationships with men, whether that man was your father, whether it's your mate, whether it's your son, that we have to be able to navigate these relationships with men. And so that is my other pathway and purpose. So those are the things that I'm doing. So this time has given me time to create my videos, my messages, complete other books, um, articles, have private conversations with people who were too busy before to have these conversations, who were not ready at that time to look at themselves, to look at what's happening in their households. And so now a lot more people will be primed coming out of this challenge to have those conversations because you've had a lot of time to look at yourself, look at your home and what you call home and who you share home with or want to share home with, and have the investments, whether it's time, effort, or energy, a lot of self work now that people will be willing to do because you don't want to repeat it and you don't want to lose the lessons that were gained during this time. And so I would say that's how my purpose is illuminated for me during this time. Um, but it's what is being my biggest lesson is that my voice has to be louder. That where I have been probably a lot more timid in my approach or in sharing information, that I have to be more aggressive because part of my purpose is connected with all of the other purposes that line up that help show us where we need to go.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Wow. That's, you know what, Heather, I always love talking to you because you go down at least 20 levels. You know, we have most of the time we have conversations, you know, we're here, we're talking on a, you know, basically on a surface level. And the thing I love about you is that you are always speaking from multiple levels. I mean, so I think the term backstory that you have coined for your work is really apropos for the work that you're doing. You know, I really would love to ask you, with the work that you're doing with families and men and masculine energy, how do you see the, well, let me say this before I say that. So now is the time when the divine feminine, part of my purpose is to help to reestablish the divine feminine. And now is the time when the divine feminine is moving into a place where it's actually more confident. And it's really designed for us to be balanced between the masculine and the feminine. And you seem to be poised at really being able to um, work on the connection, the bridge between the masculine and the feminine, which is so important because with the
Yeah.
rise of the feminine, it doesn't mean that women are not supposed to dominate men. You know, that's really
Mhm.
kind of a patriarchal way of looking at life.
Yes.
It means that the feminine and the masculine now within ourselves and within our relationships need to be more balanced. So
Yes.
you all seem to be on the front lines, your family seems to be on the front lines of integrating the divine feminine with the divine masculine. How
Yeah.
would you say, how would you say your work, because you've done also a lot of work with women and helping women,
And men too.
hmm how, and men too. How would you
Mhm.
say your work has shifted right now? Or I know you said you've spent more time developing books and you know getting some of the projects that you've been working on, but how are you seeing the relationship between the masculine and the feminine during has it are you seeing a change? Are you preparing for a change? Or help, you know, thinking that you're gonna have to help people through navigating that change? Or is that something that you've already been doing with the work that you and your husband are doing?
Actually, it's both. Because the elements that are missing are one of the balancing elements that are missing in the divine male energy is a sense of balance over their emotions. And so that emotion, whether it's fear based, a lot of it is fear based from loss, it's fear based um, from cultural degradation. It's all of these dynamics that have been passed down in men to men from generations. And for women, we it's almost like we have a lot of in some households a lot of role reversal. So
Mm-hmm.
where there was an alpha male, where an alpha male may or should have been, there was an alpha female. And she had to be so strong. I mean, this is clearly, this clearly goes back generations into um and I don't like to use this as the only indicator, but from slavery, from that mindset of women always having to do something to protect our men, that mindset became where I think passed down in our DNA, and it developed stronger and stronger women who in their strength and in their need to be strong to protect them began to take more of the oppressiveness of the oppressor. So where the oppression against men and the degradation of women um, have been combined, and having a woman take a stance like that will never be me, that will never happen to me, I will be the dominator, whether rather than being the balancer. So as that balance needs to come into play, I think that's really where both males and females need to lead. So um, I think that's the work that we have to do, and I think that's the work that my husband and I have been doing. So it's one of the areas that he covers in his sessions with men about getting control of your emotions, putting things in perspective, and dealing with your backstory. Where do you need to heal? And looking at those places to heal so that you actually draw a woman to you who can be safe. She can she doesn't have to be strong for you and for her. It is a place of balance where you can be strong for each other. It's not an either or neither nor. It is the balance between. If you're strong in this area, then you should lead in that area. But having the wisdom and having the humility to step aside and allow that to happen, but also for men to understand these dynamics about women and women to understand these dynamics about men, which often include um, that level of compassion and empathy for where we've come from and where we need to go and how we need to go together, because the statistics about family and marriage is startling, and the impact of divorce on our children, if we don't get it together. I mean, it's I was just looking at some stats last night in my research, and it's heartbreaking, because what we have done and what we continue to do with failed marriages and the lack of restoration of family is that we are creating another generation that the impact of slavery will be nothing in terms of the brokenness of the generations to come if we don't get a hold of it, if we don't put these things in proper perspective. Because in order for us to thrive and survive, we have to be able to come together as a unit, as a community. And that community always starts with a family, but that family, that sense of family, is always within the individual. And are you sharing the same values and practices and purpose? So, I mean, I know that was kind of a long way around the question, But but it is an important perspective and piece of information to share. So
Yes,
we get into healthy relationships for a healthy family marriage, and we maintain that. So
yes.
that my books, my tools are used to help women address those issues within them and provide tools for men to help them understand their women.
Hmm. Yes, that's wonderful. So, before we wrap up, the last question I would like to offer is, or not even a question, do you have anything specific that you would like to share in regard to um, revelations that you may have received during this stay-at-home time, and anything you'd like to share?
Yes, one key insight, and it always unravels into it spirals into some other things, but the first and most important thing I believe that people need to know and take away is that while we are physical beings, we are spiritual beings having this physical experience. And so I think we tend to lose sight of that. You see it a lot more when our spirits and our loved ones are coming and going and passing this way. Um, but what I think people need to know and understand is that we're also vibrational beings, and so our vibration and our frequency resonates between 62 and 70 hertz, and this ease discomfort resonates around 58. Specifically, the coronavirus has a frequency of 58 hertz, which means that the distance between a healthy adult and this ease that is causing all of this fear and all of the loss and all of the change in our daily living, that there is something that you can do, which is one, make sure that your frequency stays up, and you do that through um, first your thoughts. You do that through the activities. It's actually your thoughts, your words, and your deeds. And so keeping those things in an area where they're positive, where they're purpose filled and purpose driven, keeps your vibration higher. After under the 58 hertz, when you start to drop lower than that, you drop into further disease like cancers and tumors and more serious health conditions and challenges. And so what happens is it's constantly tearing down your immune system and
Mhm.
your body's ability to fight off the negativism, the negativity, the fear. And that's a lot of the fear that we've been holding all these years. And it's the thing that we also have to let go. And
Yeah.
so I think that is one of the more key insights, and that's the message that I'm trying to send out now. That that's where we go, and that's what we do.
Yes, we have to stay focused on being positive. So dis-ease is not just physical. Before dis-ease manifests in our body, it
Mhm.
first exists in our energy field and in our
Yeah.
aura. And so if we can be more positive and release toxic emotions and focus on our higher purpose, then we can raise our vibration, our frequency, or the disease that might be present in our energy
You
field.
can't survive.
That's right. You can't
Right.
thrive. Yes. So thank you for sharing that message. And when we post this video, it'll be out and about.
Yes.
Heather Heteru, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much. You are so wise. You always have so much to share. You are just a fount of knowledge, and I just really admire how dedicated you are to researching and writing and communicating and sharing, and and you're so impactful. And I really, really thank you so much for being a part of this series. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. I look forward to seeing how it's going to help to shape our lives from this point forward.
Yes, yes. Thanks so much. I look forward to
Thank
talking
you.
to you offline.
Thank you. Have a good day.
And you too. Peace.
And to you.
Yeah. So, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Good. So you're in the basement, just chilling, all right? Okay. So tell me some, give me some updates. You've been cooking, but you just been chilling. You done created something. You done wrote something. Oh, okay. I've been, I've been creating and taking it easy and trying to figure out exactly what we're gonna do when this weather change. Right, when we go back outside, go back. Oh, you have a bit.
We're going to bed. Hurry up, Rob. Rob. Hi. Alright. The conference call. Get up on the bed. Yeah, nothing. Oh yeah, I can see him now. Hey Jojo. That day down there. Remember. Hey guys. Huh? What do you mean glitching? It was freezing. This is What do you mean glitching? I don't get it more. I guess they're tech folks. They know what all the terms are. Trying to see. We got light in the background. It's another conference call. Let's go in there right there on the floor so we can see. Come on. Here. Let's go. Okay. Yeah. I've been finishing my schoolwork. Yes. What? I'm thinking about it. running.
I was just running yesterday. What do you mean I was just running?
Running.
I was running yesterday.
So,
Okay. I was running yesterday. Yeah, you forgot I was running yesterday?
ouch. Sorry.
Okay.
Come closer. You can hold it. Here, come closer. It gotta say plugged in.
I said I was running yesterday. What are you doing? Huh? Yeah? No. What's a draft, Calvin? What's a draft, Calvin?
That doesn't say what a draft is.
Scary.
Let's see.
Oh, what?
Let's see if yes it is.
You know what's going on, Mom? I've never seen it before. Skip?
It's insurance.
What? What is going on, Mom?
How would you?
I don't even know. I've never even seen this. I know. It's a man. That's not an afro. Yeah. Calvin, please. Oh, no, 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 talk on Zoom. Hmm. It's coming to an end. That book. Wow. Hey. No, talk on Zoom. Same face. Huh? I've been doing my putt-putts. I knew it. Anyway, I thought everything was going to end. Oh, what's that? You alright?
No, that's Corey and Kamari.
Went to come on from my old class when we got older. Yeah, I'm lost at what's going on. Oh, I knew everybody was on the phone. Yes, yes. Come on. I also did some golf, guys. Yeah, coronavirus. What do you mean? God,
Stop.
I'm serious, mom. She,
I said, who's your partner? I said, who's your partner? Okay.
no.
Hey guys. You guys, future leaders. Hey, you guys. Hi guys. So I have a couple of questions for you guys, and how you answer the questions, you guys can earn some cool points for some prizes.
Uh-oh, this is let's make a deal now. Now this is let's make a deal.
Are you able to hear me now? I don't know what to tell you. Can you relay the information? Oh, hold on here. start then. It's gotta start.
What did you say?
It's gotta start. For price.
Okay, now this is let's make a deal. Okay, Mom, I hear you. I'm here. Jojo. Start it off. Start it off. Start it off. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, okay, now I am, but I didn't understand you, Mom. Uh, oh my God. What's wrong with the phone? What the hell, man? Yes. What? And this won't just charge up? Come on. Calvin, Mom, where are you? Jojo? Okay. Ow, again. Bruised.
Let me see.
Here. Yeah, the phone is not charging up. Right. Yeah. I remember the pledge. Well, I didn't do it, but I know it. I remember it easily. Huh? Somebody say my name? Ah, is everybody here? Okay. We went to Channel 7, remember? Uh-oh. Why isn't the phone charging? Mom! Phone's not charging. Me? Me? Colin, are you alright? Mhm. Ah! Why is everything getting me? What are these phones? Tell me to let this thing go. No, and I didn't even see him on here. Why won't the phone just charge up? What? What's wrong with the phone? Why isn't the phone working? You speak so. Mm-mm. Mom, you're frozen. What is going on? What's wrong with the phone? Uh-uh. I forgot my peer partner. Ah! This phone is so hot. Sorry, Mom. I'm not gonna be able to join in. Me? I don't want me. Me? Me? What is going on? They're my phones. Sorry, Mom. No, not me. Oh, shoot. I tried Code Vex, but no. Why is my phone? What's wrong with the phone? Hold it. What's wrong with the phone? And the phone is not gonna work. Oh, see, the phone wants me to let go. It's just ridiculous. What's wrong with the phone? It won't. Mom, the phone won't charge. Bananas? You're making me going bananas. Oh, mom's phone's not charging.
Come over here. You can sit over here. Get your paper and pen. Just so you can write it down. Okay. And keep it. Try to hold it.
Ow!
Sorry.
My foot.
Try to hold it up.
Oh, no. It's my YouTube. What's wrong with the phone? The phone's not just putting to work. What are you doing? Uh-oh. Is that Coach?
That's right
No, that's Coach Brian.
there.
I know that was Coach Jared. It's Coach G. I don't see anybody. What is wrong with the phone? Anyone charge up? Let it go. I can't stay on here for long. Now Emmy's coming back. I need to tell everybody to stay safe. What's wrong with the phone? Hey, one thing. Look, what's wrong with the phone? Anyone charge up? It keeps charging on. It just wants me to let it go.
I just hung up.
I'm trying. It's not doing anything. And I'm not doing it all. I thought everything was cool. Look. 419-210-6. What happened? Ah, what is going on? What are you doing? Oh, well, I'm confused. Still, I'm not trying to hold. Yes, Kelvin. Oh, that's what his name was. No, sorry, Kelvin. I'm so confused. What's going on? Huh? I didn't even write it down. Besides, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Thing. And I wasn't listening. That was easy. Wait. What was Tyrez's number? Oh my god. And it's not gonna. Mom, it's the phone! The phone! It's Robert. Oh. Hang on.
Just gonna have here.
Huh?
It's the phone. It's right there.
Yeah, that's why I mean the phone was hot.
So keep still.
Keep still.
You want chicken nuggets or
Dumplings. I'll keep the same thing. Dumplings. Five, three, three, one. Calvin, I need a little help. Guys, I need your help right now. Nobody can hear me. And my phone won't just freaking charge. Why? And I'm not even charging it right. No! Brew! Oh, right. No. Wait. Ugh. Want me to go? Wow. Guys, I need your help right now. I can't get the phone. That's for help. What is going on? Excuse me, guys. I gotta go to the bathroom. Mom, I gotta go to the bathroom. Take the phone. Go to the bathroom. I'll be right back, guys. I'm here. Yeah. What? Huh? I understand now. Oh my god. Oh, I want to turn this off. Okay. Calvin, please! What's wrong with the phone? And the phone! Look, I'm gonna have to turn this off. Wow, what's that? Okay. Are you serious with this? Guys! No fighting! What do you mean, cats? Screenshots. Oh my god! Huh? I could! Phone is vibrating so much. Phone, charge off. No more Calvin. Not fine. This phone is not gonna work. Oh, okay. Oh! What are you all doing? Oh, dude. I can say the pledge! And go whoever that you need to be the. And God, we have our destiny to be the best that we can be, to build ourselves and our families. We are any future leaders. And God, we have our destiny to be the best that we can be, to build ourselves and our families. We are any future leaders. Our future is shaped by you and me. We pray, we help, we listen to the team. We respect, we encourage the change you see. We are any future leaders. Encourage me, I'm young. Okay, you stop. Okay. Good night and good luck. Okay, good night and good luck, everybody. I can't see a thing. Why? Seeing the phone is keep. The phone wants me to hold it so much and. Okay, I'm gonna put you back. What's wrong? What's wrong with you, Brew? Oh.
Yeah.
That's football, yeah. See, that's why I didn't want to do. What you do? Uh-oh. The birds are my bad. Do that. Do that. I gotta introduce me. Run. We are done. Thanks. Well, well, Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Sleeping, sleeping. Boy, oh boy. Like a pilot. try my music. That just didn't work.
So why is it in here playing music? And I said to turn the phone all the way on so it would charge. Did I not say that? But you can remember that. Right. Don't make me oh, to hear that.
It was that nice.